What's up, everybody? I'm Gunnar Gillette with Headsnaps and Headgear, and I'm here with the wrestling nomad of Flowrestling. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, man. I'm looking forward to this.
So obviously we wouldn't even be here today if it weren't for this great sport. How did you get started, and where did you find your love for wrestling?
Well, I got kind of lucky. So my father wrestled for Lehigh University, was on a number of excellent teams there in the early 80s. So when he came down to Baltimore and met my mom and started teaching, it just kind of was a natural thing that I was going to fall into wrestling. The first trip I ever took out of the house as a baby was to a high school wrestling match. And then I wrestled for him growing up, and then came back after college, started helping him coach again, and then got into the media aspect, and now here I am covering the U.S. Open with Flowrestling.
So obviously Flow Radio Live is one of the main things you're known for. Can you tell us how FRL got its start?
So FRL got its start a few years before I even started working there. It was Christian Piles kind of had his own show when he was still living in Virginia, and then they really wanted it to go from kind of a solo thing with CP, it was called Preaching with CP, to a full podcast, which wrestling at the time, it was still kind of nascent. Jason Bryan had a lot of podcasts, but Flowrestling really wanted to do one for the mainstream. And after a couple years with just Willie and CP, they brought on me and Bracky, and now it's one of the biggest things going.
So you're kind of known for being a statistician or analyst. Is that something you really take pride in?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's really good to bring data and analytics into wrestling. It's something that we don't necessarily have a lot of in this sport. And I think part of that is just, us being willing to do the work and do the research. Ben Askren recently did a breakdown of the scoring at the World Championships. I'd like to do something similar for the rounds here at the U.S. Open, maybe quarters, semis, and finals. But yeah, I think it's very important to not just kind of go, I think this guy's good with this single. No, let's actually take a look at the data and see how guys are scoring points and what is the most effective way to win matches.
So my family and I, when we're on our way to practice, we listen to Flow Radio Live. So when you're on your way to work, do you listen to Headsnaps and Headgear?
Man, I do not listen to Headsnaps and Headgear. I need to get back on my podcast game. The problem is I have a very short commute to work, so I'll just put on the radio for about a 5-minute drive. So what I need to do, I need to get it downloaded on my phone so I can listen to it on my very short commute to work.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'm Gunnar Gillette, telling you to snap that head and throw on some headgear.